All right, so brief synopsis of the whole Harden thing.
Mhm.
So just to start with the context, 2 days ago, Adrian Wojnarowski posted a couple tweets just talking about the NBA's like COVID protocols and what they're going to be doing as far as like addressing that for the upcoming season. Part of that is he specifically said at home, players and staff are not allowed to enter bars, lounges, clubs, live entertainment, gambling venues with limited exceptions, public gyms, spas, pool areas, or large indoor social gatherings of 15 or more people. That's part of what's going on. At the same time that this is happening, training camp has started, and the Rockets have not heard from James Harden. Nobody knows where James Harden is. Nobody's heard from James Harden, and then we find out where he is through social media. He's at little baby's birthday. Little baby, like did I see? Like he gave him $100,000. He gave him a watch. He's out there, they're partying. They throw him money. Now look, strip club, restaurant. There's a lot of maybe he's at a restaurant. Maybe he's at a restaurant. They just having an extra good time. I don't know. But now, recently, 13 minutes ago, I got this for you. So Steven Silas, Rockets head coach, he just told media that they haven't heard from him still. He hasn't come to practice, and there's no timetable for his return at this point. Also, there was an individual practice scheduled for him that he did not show up to previously. So, what is going on with James Harden? Are you concerned about James Harden? What the hell?
So, well, I now, so did I see something in regards to like has there been an official like response to say, okay, we see that he's obviously not following the rules and we're not letting him come back to practice?
There is nothing. There's nothing about punishments or anything like that. There were some things floating around that, okay, he was just partying, so he's undergoing a mandatory quarantine before he practices. But then 10 minutes ago, you got the head coach saying, still haven't heard from this guy, no timetable for return. And the season starts in 2 weeks. This is the best player on your team. This is the best player on your team. So, I don't know if he watched the Dennis Rodman part of the Last Dance and took it to heart, but like what's important to remember is that Dennis can do that because Dennis isn't the best player on your team.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? So
we can let you go, Dennis.
That's what I'm saying. Like Terrell Owens could shake popcorn and do all that stuff because he's not the best player on the team. He's an excellent addition. You know what I mean? So it's just like when it's the best, this is your franchise cornerstone. Is he trying to bully his way to Brooklyn? Because I will tell you this, if I'm Houston, I don't care what you do. Because the more I think about it, and I was telling somebody this morning, I'm trading James Harden, right? This is MVP caliber guy still. This is the greatest offensive machine since Michael Jordan and Wilt. And I'm sorry, I'm not taking Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert plus, whatever loose change you have in the back of your car back for my future Hall of Famer. So, like, at this point, if I'm the Houston Rockets, if you're not at least Ben Simmons minimum or offering that level of guy, like either the potential between like excellence right now and future excellence, I don't even want to hear it. And James, go on, party all you want. See you when you decide to get here. And we just gonna all rock out and look silly for the rest of the season. You're not bullying me into taking a short.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel like I would be more on the other side where it's like, dog, we need to, like, we have a culture that we're still trying to, at this point, maintain. But if he's out of there, then you really have to reinvent the whole culture. You just got John Wall. He's back with Boogie. That's at least a pod. They're both got to prove that they're back physically and stuff. But
exactly
some positivity you have there. If Harden's not publicly saying, hey, I'm excited about John Wall. I'm excited about Steven Silas. Like, I'm ready to go in Houston. Like, and which he, we're not getting that from him. So if I'm looking, I definitely hear where you're coming from. I feel like I'd be on the side of like, dog, like, you gotta take that, like you're crippling our culture, even though you're the man. And I get it. Like, we have to appease you, but listen, we have other, almost good things happening right now. So I would get him out of there. Clearly he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, but it's just like, what do you get in return? Never in NBA history has trading $1 for 4 quarters ever worked, ever. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I know you may lose him eventually, but you're just going to reward this behavior, basically hand him a chance at getting to a championship in Brooklyn. And then you just get, we don't know what we're getting in return. Like,
I I see Scoop B just tweeted like maybe a few minutes ago that the owner, which apparently like Russell Westbrook and James Harden, when they both kind of came out together, starting to express that they wanted out, apparently it had more to do with the owner than anything, based on what I saw Brandon talking about.
And
And
if that's the case, yeah, go on. Go
and he
on.
tweeted a few minutes ago, apparently the owner's still being pretty stubborn about the prospect of trading James Harden. It seems like he's sticking to his guns, like you saying that you would. I just wonder how long that could really last if James Harden continues to just, not to say he's just going to lash out for the next 6 to 8 months, but if it's a clear understanding he doesn't want to be there and he's just going to, you know, it'll be weird, right? If Wall comes back really good and Boogie can come back, and then you see the and they start out, you know, like 20-5 or something, like with Harden, like it'd be kind of weird, because then like, okay, maybe now you just have to write it out and see just how good. Maybe this is just the last dance for James Harden in Houston. You just see what can you still accomplish in this last like little bit of experimenting? Because like I told you before, I feel like he's gone from Dwight to Chris Paul to Westbrook, now John Wall. It's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of conversation about get the right pieces around him. Eventually you get it's like, man, I kind of give up.
Look, I understand. Look, he's obviously like a guy who's very focused on legacy. He's been very vocal about when Giannis has beaten him in MVP voting. He said, you know, it should have been me. But so that's on his brain. He is on the other end of 30. And the way guys are winning championships right now, look around. Like, guys are teaming up. So from his perspective, I understand that. Look, what's the chances they win a championship with the roster as is? I got 0. You know, they may be interesting. They may be 4 seed, you know, or something like that. But even in the best of circumstances, if you go into the season and it's John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and James Harden, that doesn't excite me as far as championship prospects. Not now, and not in the future as Phoenix and Dallas continue to ascend. So, like, I get it from James Harden's standpoint, but from an ownership standpoint, and I did hear the thing about the owner as well, and everybody trying to get away from him. And if that has anything to do with that, because I know it had to do with some Trump stuff as well too, then forget everything I just said. But purely from a basketball perspective, we just talked about Kawhi and like stars will be stars and stuff like that. But this is like way, I almost want to apologize to Kawhi for what I said about him last video, because like this is way beyond really any of that stuff.
It is. And I mean, again, like, I guess James Harden has, like, based on reports, is that he's requested a trade. I mean, it seems to be known that he has requested a trade specifically to Brooklyn. Like, he's making it clear, like, yo, this is, you know, if you're going to send me somewhere, this is where I want to be. And I feel like it's tough, because just how do you, and again, I'm not saying you just give him whatever he wants, right? But I'm just saying, like, he's earned the right to at least say that, right? To say, like, listen, it doesn't have to happen, just that, listen, I've given you guys everything. Like,
yeah. Look, I get it. It's the business versus because look, if you do think about it, I do agree with what you just said. Like, he gave them everything. They got close so many times, and you know, because of one reason or another, they always fell short. So I don't blame him for wanting to go to Brooklyn and really take like a big swing at the throne with his guys. But the game is a business, and you know, guys come in understanding that. So if I'm trying to honor his trade request, I'm also trying to make sure I don't go under. If I trade James Harden and I get Dinwiddie, LeVert, and loose change, and John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins aren't who they are, now I have John Wall at $40 million for the next 2 years. Boogie's going to leave again and go join another contender most likely, and I got Dinwiddie and LeVert. What about me?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, you by trading James Harden, you're setting yourself back for the next decade, possibly. I mean,
now if I get Ben Simmons and some pieces, now I feel more comfortable letting go of an asset like that, because whether Ben Simmons is a Hall of Famer or not, at least you can see a future where, in a scenario where he is an elite, top tier, generational cornerstone for the next 8 to 10 years. Caris LeVert is a nice player. Spencer Dinwiddie is a nice player. Those are the guys that, you know, make teams where it's like, oh, this is a deep team, but I need a piece. I need that guy, or somebody who's going to be that guy.
Yeah, like, again, I haven't really gone too much into the thinking about what John Wall and James Harden would look like. Obviously, we want to see John Wall, like, just what he looks like, just getting healthy,
period.
Practicing, obviously, but we just want to see what he looks like, what his pace is like, what his what his feel is looking like and all that. And again, like I said before, a prime John Wall with a prime James Harden, I would sign up for that any day to see what it looks like. I still want to see what it looks like, but I'm just wondering, you know, if Harden isn't openly saying like, hey, John Wall, you know, but like here, look, I'm here. I'm ready to do what we've been doing, which is trying to make it work. He seems to have made up his mind.
All we've heard is John Wall did say that he spoke to James Harden and he fully expects him to be a Rocket. It sounds like that's what John Wall's supposed to say.
Yeah.
I don't believe that for 2 seconds. So he's spoken to you, but not the head coach, not management, you know, things like that. So, I mean, I feel like look, I said it, I believe in one of our other videos, like John Wall is the real winner of this situation. He's in Houston. If I'm John Wall, I don't care if James Harden stays or not. This is my shot at redemption. I got my boy DeMarcus Cousins here. Like, you know, let's get it. I'm going to get it with whoever comes. So John Wall's playing it safe. He might as well say that, you know. But like, as far as like what's really going on here, it's going to be, I don't envy Houston's management because he obviously wants out. But like you really want to get a return, like a solid return when you're giving up a piece like this.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know if you would trade James Harden in the comments. Would you trade Harden? Would you hang on to him? Would you drag it out? Give us your thoughts in the comments. What you think about James Harden in Houston.